We could talk about Jupiter.
It's like that movie, All Dogs Go to Kevin. You never do see Kevin. I didn't get that movie.
It's a new movie. This is the first time we're gonna be like talking to Fredy when he has just a bar going. I see one eye just peeking through.
He's a cyborg hooked into the van.
I'm a cyborg pirate. Surfing the 7 seas of the internet.
I feel good. What do you say, Nick? Yeah? All right. Oh, yeah, we don't have the intro music on this, though. No. All right. So.
Is it Bill?
That's me. Coming to you live from Hollywood, California. Pre-recorded at Pismo Beach in the Oceano Dunes. This is Failing Hollywood.
Failing Hollywood.
I'm your host, Mykie-T. And with us today, I have, as always, Mr. Fredy Foote.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
How's it going, brother?
You
doing
the
good?
Weirdest intros. I don't know.
Yeah, we also have one-armed ninja, Bill.
Hey.
How you doing, Bill?
So good.
Yeah, today is a extremely special episode.
Today's extreme.
Yeah, with a lot of emphasis on the extreme because we are broadcasting in a van
Down by the river.
down by the ocean in Pismo Beach. So we drove. We started driving onto the beach. We got stuck, and then we said, well, I guess this is our camp. And then we kind of just built up around it. So
the dude next to us hates us because he thought he'd take fucking 40 plots all to himself.
yeah, they have like you have like a lot of like these redneck RV gearheads here. So they bring like their RVs and they bring their trailers and they bring caution tape.
They bring their trailer trash children.
Yeah, they bring
and the
everything.
trailer trash fucking attitudes.
Every trailer trash thing you could possibly
But
think
they're
of.
pretty cool because if you get stuck, they will pull you out.
Oh, yeah,
that's,
they are sweet.
They
Yeah.
just drive back and forth and they're
Yeah, they have
ready to help.
They have like a horde of people that come here just to hang out on the beach in like the loose areas and wait and pull people out. Which is funny that we would do a failing podcast in front of the worst possible spot
Where
on the
everyone's just
entire fucking beach.
Failing to get anywhere. What was that guy's truck? What did it say? Like sand something, sand bandit or something?
Yeah, it said sand. It was something like sand pirate. No, wait.
Vampire. Full circle.
No, it was sand it was sand something. But
I think it was Sand Bandit or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, they basically just drive around and like, yo, are you a fucking piece of shit? I'll get you out, fucking idiot, driving your stupid Jetta in here. Ugh.
yeah, they had walkies though too. I think like a bunch of just like dudes got together and they're like, let's be
were they
heroes
CB
for the
radios,
day.
dude?
They no, they weren't CB
They're
radios.
just on the CB.
They were actual
Hey, this
walkie-talkies.
Candy cane. Anybody out there stuck in
Yeah,
the mud?
they have all their specialty lifts in like their trucks and crazy shit. And it's just they park and wait, and they're like, I'm gonna go to Pismo Beach and I'm gonna be a hero. They have like they have the chains already attached to the back of their truck and thrown into the back, and then they just wait and hang out over here because this is the worst stretch of beach, and like it's like an 8-mile long beach. We just so happen to be, well, I guess that makes sense because that's where we got stuck. So
Still
sedans,
stuck. Still stuck currently. We just decided to settle down.
Yeah, it got to like too
like
much
the
effort.
Pilgrims.
But
your
the
wagon breaks down on the Oregon Trail.
that's your new. You make a town out of it.
They had diarrhea. They had to build a bathroom real fast. And
we
then
did that too.
They just hung around. Oh yeah,
we did that
was
too.
done
We put up a tent and a toilet, and because there's an outhouse like in a stone's throw. You could see it from our campsite, but it just smells so bad that we're like, I'd rather dig a hole in the sand and poop in that in a tent.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Oh, the fucking combination of camp food and Monster energy drinks and Budweiser will give you the shits like you wouldn't believe, dude. Canned beans, yeah.
Can be hobo dinner. Is that what we've been calling it?
Hobo soup.
Yeah, hobo soup.
Speaking of hobo soup, we do have a guest on this podcast.
Speaking of hobo soup, we do have a special guest on this podcast, which is it's the first person that actually brought me to these. I'd like to have a warm welcoming for professional BMX rider Matt Hoffman.
Well, I don't ride bicycles.
Oh, you
but,
retired?
I mean, I'm 28 years old. I'm not a professional BMXer.
What?
But we have the same name, yes. Actually,
I think we got gypped on this podcast.
Fun fact, in middle school, I used to lie to people to make friends that he was my uncle.
That you had the same name with?
Yes.
That's a sad story.
Yes, I know. I'm a sad person.
So, by this logic, Matt Hoffman's brother named his son after his brother, who happened to be famous as well. That just paints a horrible picture of jealousy and just the worst type of, like, motherfucker. Maybe if I name my son after him, he'll take me on the road. I'll get to fix his tires.
Is that a
Paint his
euphemism?
bicycles.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Is that like for rubbing the dick or?
It doesn't matter because none of this is real. However, I thought that we were interviewing the Matt Hoffman for like 2 weeks now. I'm like, well, I guess we're interviewing Matt Hoffman when we go to Pismo. So weird. And that's why, like, I was saying, like you said something about something I don't remember, and I was like, oh, is Matt Hoffman getting flaky? And like, no, why would he? He's a friend of yours. He's not the Matt Hoffman.
Yeah. But that's what we were talking about this earlier, because Bill always kind of just goes with things and never just asks question. Like we could probably be sitting here and be like, all right, on next week's episode, we're bringing in Johnny Depp, and he'd be like, cool.
Yeah, I'm like...
Sounds like a good guess.
See,
yeah.
The thing about me is I've seen a lot of crazy shit, and I've been through a lot of crazy shit, so nothing surprises me anymore. If I was at the beach and Poseidon came out of the ocean and was like, Bill! I'd be like, oh, Poseidon, what's up? And he's like,
me.
I got a task for you. I'd be like, all right, well...
What the fuck do you want?
Well,
dude?
what is it? Like, what's the time frame here, buddy?
I don't talk to fish, the ocean. I mean, we've been
Are you
in front
giving
of the
me
ocean.
powers? Are you going to pay me for this? I'm a busy person. I got a lot on my plate right now. Anyway,
you ain't going with Poseidon.
I just believed Matt Hoffman, pro BMX video game having guy was here.
I'm so sorry to disappoint you.
No, actually, I'm a lot happier that it's not him, because I just thought that was such a weird fit. I'm like, we work in film and stuff. What does this guy who used to ride bikes have to do with anything? Why are we getting him on the podcast?
Well, to be fair, he doesn't do anything that has to do with film either.
Film.
So,
but I did work on one TV show.
Let's hear about it.
Which is enough qualification to be on this podcast.
Yeah. Tell him about it.
I worked on Martha's Vineyard. When I was over in New Hampshire, Mikey flew out for a month or two, I don't know, working on that show.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, we need an extra person. Come down to Martha's Vineyard. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm unemployed. I have no money.
Yeah.
I'll try out film.
Yeah. It was a ABC Family reality show, and it was like, I think they were trying to be like Laguna Beach, or they're trying to be.
It was awful.
Laguna Beach, the hills.
The hills, yeah. 'Cause they were all like super into like, but it was like a little bit of a younger crowd, and they just pretty much go to Martha's Vineyard, get fucked up. And if you any of you guys know anything about Martha's Vineyard, it's like the bougiest island in Cape Cod that you could ever be at. I mean, it's fun as hell, and
They do have an entire block of tiny houses, though.
They do, yeah. They have like a little person's village.
Did
It's
you
like
guys
we
go
called
there?
it Munchkin Land, actually, because they're all like pastel colors and like a little thing. We went there for
Your
our
honeymoon,
our
yeah.
pre-honeymoon, and posted and got one of those little Munchkin homes.
Could I just touch on something?
Yeah.
any listeners out there, if you want to work in film, did you just hear how easy it is to get in? Mikey was like, "Hey, I need another guy." Okay, I'm not working. Come on down.
Well, no, I was the only person that knew. I'm from New England, so I know like Matt's one of my best friends in the world. I should have mentioned that in the beginning.
What I'm saying is, you get close to where films are being done, and you just make some friends and just hop aboard.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing is we needed extra help, and then they had us put up in a
Manchester,
cabin.
New Hampshire is close to where films are being done.
Yeah.
You're not going to jump on and become the director or producer, but you'll get in. You'll
so we
make
needed
some
somebody
money
for 2 weeks, and they had a
career.
room in our area, and all I had to do, I was like, oh, who's the one friend that
Probably doesn't have a job.
probably doesn't have a job or doesn't care about his job enough to be like, yeah, fuck this, I'm going to Martha's Vineyard for 2 weeks.
I'm calling Matt Hoffman, Pro BMX.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think you're a shitty little town, like there's no way a film crew's gonna come to your town. Look at American Pickers. They hire a shit ton of PAs to
Yeah.
do all the labor that those. You think
I
those
was
two
one of 'em.
fuckers are doing shit?
I was one of them.
They have a PA clear out the entire area, and then they pick up like.
To be
oh,
fair-
what is this under this?
To be fair, with that particular show, the main guy, that Mike dude, he picks everything. Even when the cameras aren't rolling, he's digging through shit. The bigger dude, like, I don't know if he has health problems or whatever, but like,
oh, he's just a fucking.
he's got a
asshole.
case of the shits every single day, and he's just like, my stomach hurts. Like
He
every
brings his
episode that
own
I've
shit
worked on
to
it.
work.
Wait, are you talking
big
me?
old case
Are you
of
telling
it?
me that guy does not eat healthy? No, fuck you. That dude's a fucking picture of health, dude.
He's one of those guys that kind of doesn't eat healthy, but acts like he eats healthy. So he's like, oh no, I don't eat that. I only eat like the organic loads of cheese.
It's all sleight of hand. He's got broccoli, but he's actually like siphoning sausages into his nostrils.
Yeah.
He eats a brick of organic cheddar every day. It's like it's healthy, it's organic.
Yeah. So
It's
that's
gluten free.
So that's the extent of Matt Hoffman's experience in the film industry, is working 2 weeks in Martha's Vineyard on a crappy Hills wannabe reality show.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like you hooked me up with a real easy job.
Yeah.
I was kind of just driving around buying stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
are there any,
It was chill.
set up a tablecloth or two.
are there any
Yeah.
good
Like
party
that.
stories? I'm assuming you guys were getting fucked up at night.
Oh yeah, we definitely were getting fucked up at night. It was a fun place at night, but it was
Also a little too fancy for
it was
me.
really yeah. So all the clubs and stuff were bougie as shit. So it wasn't
So your per diem would buy you like one drink?
I'm not allowed into places like
if that. We kind of found our own little like dive spots that were kind of more localized and cool
No,
and
like
everything. But
interesting stories that stick out though.
not that I remember Matt being a
Tell
part
a
of.
fucking story.
Not that I remember Matt being a part of, actually.
Well, the fucking van you brought back was absolutely destroyed.
What?
Remember the rental van we had to drive back to Logan Airport?
Oh,
With
that
the
wasn't
windows
because of
smashed
me,
out
though.
and, like,
that
dents
wasn't because
everywhere.
of me. Yeah.
Trying to get your information. You're like, hell no, here's your van.
That was not me. That was a PA. I had to bring it back because I needed a ride to the fucking airport to go back to LA at the very end of the show. But he like came to pick us up and like hand us the keys to the van, and he backed into a branch. So I had to deal with that shit going back. So that's the extent of it. I have a different fail story, but Matt was not part of that, and it involved skinny dipping and the cast house. There's a lot. That's a story for a different day.
Sounds like Matt was involved in that.
Nope, wasn't there for that one.
No.
I feel like we have to go back and listen to a lot of these other episodes, because I have a feeling we always say that's a time, like we'll have time to talk
Yeah.
about that another
Okay.
time.
Make an
And we
episode
just
of
keep
all those.
pushing
Of
stuff
all those
off.
go back to times, save
Now's
it times.
that time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
we'll
will
have
be
a
the name of the
go-back
episode.
show.
Yeah,
That'll be the 50th episode.
yeah. I want
We need
to.
50 of those stories.
All right, we've talked a lot about what Matt Hoffman is not. He's not a BMX rider. He doesn't work in the film industry. Let's talk about who he is.
Not a decent human being.
Not a. So, like I said, you've been one of my best friends in the world since like what, 7th grade or whatever. It's been almost
Yeah, I think we met in about 6th grade when I moved to your town.
going on like almost 20 years. So First of all, let's tell the people where you're from. Where you from?
I met Matt in 8th grade too. So we go back. I mean,
Okay,
he
Fredy.
met him in 7th grade, but yeah, that's 1 year longer.
Yeah.
But I mean,
See, it doesn't feel
we're good.
good.
Friends
It
too.
doesn't feel good when people don't ask about you, huh?
We're good friends.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, ready.
Oh shit! Did we not ask about you this time? Wait, dude.
No, I think it was more of a general thing.
I think we all just kind of glossed over ourselves. We didn't even.
No, because it's a new it's a different episode. So we're in Pismo Beach. Let's talk about that before we talk about you, though. We
That's
had
right.
a date.
Fuck me.
Yeah. We're gonna get back to that, but we had a day in Pismo Beach. You want to tell the people what we did today, Matt?
Yeah, we rented some ATVs. I thought I broke my back for about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yep.
I
That's a good fail
wheelied
story.
and just like smashed. It was awful. The bike was straight up, leaking gas everywhere. It was lots of fun.
Yeah.
12 o'clock boy over
Yeah,
there.
24 o'clock boy.
24. Yeah, that worked out. He was like trying to like show off all day. He's like, do a wheelie, yeah, come on, man. And then like halfway through the day, he flops on his back. He goes, Matt's done with wheelies.
That is so Matt Hoffman.
Yeah. Doing wheelies, man. Hitting jumps and everything.
He'll be back on it once he gets on that fucking KTM.
Yeah.
So we came up and ripped some dunes, and we were the shit. We were hitting those banks pretty hard, and we would find our own little areas to rip around in, and then everybody kept overcrowding it because there's so many fucking people here. But I'd say we had a pretty good time. We were pretty exhausted. Then we got back to the site here. Everybody went to bed
Ooh,
except
we
for me and Bill.
fucking
Bill
blacked out.
Bill didn't really come out in the ATVs with us. He's
the
like,
devil
I
stole
don't
our
have.
soul for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm exhausted. I worked until like 2:30 in the morning last night, and then I went to whatever.
So Bill.
Yeah, fuck off, Bill.
So Bill was like, I ain't gonna rent ATVs. So producer Nick, Freddie, Matt, and I, and Jackie, even we're all jammed into this van, by the way, with 3 dogs because there's fireworks going off. So they're
Say hi,
freaking
Jackie.
the hell out. Yeah, that's not usually how she sounds. But with the dog, like this recording was around 4th of July, so there's fireworks going off. And the dogs are freaking the hell out. So we were going to do this open door so you could hear some ATVs, which surprisingly has been pretty
I've
quiet
heard a
out there.
couple
Yeah.
things drive by, but not much.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dogs were kind of freaking out, and they don't want to be out where they're seeing things. So
Maybe
they
we
jumped
can
into
get
the
some
van.
ocean ASMR before we leave.
If
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
just, roll the van into the water.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just have a good 5 minutes of just ocean.
The thing is that you hear more cars than ocean.
Yeah. That's why I was like, because we were like, oh, should we open the door? I was like, you could hear the nice
Not after
calming
midnight.
sound of waves coming in the background.
midnight.
But yeah, instead you hear. Exactly. So it kind of just counteracts it when you're over here. Yeah. So we pretty much just said, all right, Bill, you're watching the dogs.
It was
Yeah,
fine.
give me one of those too. Thank you.
I'm the beer
I-
bitch.
I
Yeah, is
sat
there any
by a
PBRs in there?
fire.
The
I
guest
Actually, give me a
job is
Corona
beer
instead.
bitch.
just dropped
These
my
beers
drink.
are very moist.
If you
we
could,
had,
if you could jam that beer inside
yeah,
me,
we-
my
we-
body.
we-
Corona?
we kind of had to improvise on seats because we don't have our table here and everything. We moved the whole studio into this van.
let's talk
Mikey's-
about how we
Mikey's
all
sitting on the
showed
toilet.
up to Pismo with a fucking 30 rack of beer.
Yeah,
Oh,
each
yeah.
of us bought a 30 rack, so we have excessive beer.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, other people are gonna want beers. Oh, everybody brought a 30 rack.
We've been drinking since we got here.
All right, everybody's got to kill their 30 rack before we go.
Yep.
Yeah. So we ATV'd and we and Bill, I didn't say it. Bill just goes, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to get it." We're like, "Cool. You're watching the dogs.
Listen, I love dogs, and I also love not doing things. It was perfect.
Yeah, so we just chilled out and then watched a bunch of people get stuck and constantly pulled out. There was a Jetta that tried to drive through the ocean to get here, and then we were helping somebody push a car up, and they kind of look at us, and they're like, "Can you help?"
Yeah,
And we're like,
meanwhile, they're
"What the fuck do you want us to do?"
I'm sorry, you want me to man your fucking submarine? I got
Yeah.
shit to do today,
Just because
sir.
it's called Jetta doesn't mean it's a jet that can go in the water. It's not something that,
This
like, you
poor
fucked up.
kid.
There's waves hitting the fucking car.
This kid and his girlfriend
Batten
are
down
like
the hatches.
they're like kneeling in
Come on, Becky.
in the waves that are
Get the shovel.
splashing up on them. They're trying to dig their car out. They had a truck pull out, but there's nothing we could do. And like, you know, they're in a car going somewhere. I don't think they're staying out here, so
Yeah,
they could
they're
have
in a
sat
car
in there.
with heat.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, you guys camping.
Me and Mikey were
Come
going
get
to
wet.
get all wet because some idiot drove his car into the
No,
ocean.
and there's like people around with giant trucks helping. We pulled our lawn chairs out with a beer and a spliff.
Yeah, you
to
think we're trying to
chill
help
and
people?
watch. I mean, I'll help him if I can help with a push, but I don't have a truck. Like these guys
Yeah.
have winches and like all this big stuff.
Like
No.
we said, our van is currently stuck where it
It's
is.
stuck.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. Like, look at who you're talking to. You're talking to the dude who pulled a chair up, opened a beer to watch people get fucked.
Well, okay, you guys were sleeping. They would like get stuck one after another. Sedans had no chance. Not one sedan made it through
Right in
successfully.
front of us.
Right in front of us, and they would stack up to block the entire road. So it would just hold up traffic, and it's the softest sand of the whole place. So if you look back, every car was getting stuck behind it, and just.
You see a car coming, and you're like, oh, this guy's going to stop right in front of us. And I was like, fuck, Mikey, we should have set up a store right here because he had so many people stopping.
No, Bill said something that was actually really funny to me that kind of sticks out because he was like, man, if we were like people eaters,
Oh,
this would be so
like
easy,
if
right?
we were some sort of creature that ate people, this would be perfect.
Yeah. Next time we
It's
come,
like a big spider web.
we should make fucking I got stuck on Pismo Beach stickers and just post up right at the spot.
Oh, that's an awesome
Those are
idea.
$5 a pop, easy.
Or
That's
we,
so
we can make it
good.
look like the baby on board thing, but it's
Yeah.
like I'm a baby and I'm stuck.
Baby and stuck on board. I also wanted to point out to this, since this is our first episode where we're completely off the grid. We are doing this episode on
Government
solar.
can't find us today.
The government can't find us. We're doing this episode completely 100% on solar.
We're very environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
It's ironic because we're doing it at night.
We are. Wait
That's
a
true.
minute. I think that flew over my head.
Because you said solar.
But we got the batteries.
The sun
Okay,
is down
thank you.
there.
This is a good one. All right. Now that we've beaten Pismo to death, we could talk about that more in a little bit. But I want to talk some more about you. Tell everybody
Can we talk about my sweet fucking 5 foot of air I caught today? Woo!
Freddie was like 1.2 feet.
Yeah. Freddie looks over. He's like, "How much air was that?" And
And
me
you
and
look-
Matt both go like a foot.
It was a very aggressive fart.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
But it was a good jump.
It was a good jump. Matt, where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Hampshire, Massachusetts and New Hampshire area, mostly New Hampshire. Down the street from Mikey and Freddie, your
That's right.
host and your co-host, for a lot of my life, middle school and high school. And
What are
moved
you
out to
doing?
California.
Sorry, stop 1 second.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Bill?
I'm laughing at the fact
This man
that
is telling us about his fucking life, and you're there just hysterically laughing.
because I'm laughing because I turned his 5 foot of air like that, into a fart, like
was a
as
good
if
one.
I was trying to measure his fart in feet. And then I was thinking about actually taking a tape measure and trying to measure the fart, but continue. I'm sorry. I'm over here
And
doing.
you could not contain
doing
any
my-
fart jokes.
I'm
Bill
doing my
just
own
can't
thing.
hold himself together.
There's a show within a show, and it's happening in my brain.
Okay, so grew up in Massachusetts, moved to New
Well,
Hampshire
yeah.
down the road from us.
I mean, young child in Massachusetts.
Young child. So your real life started when you came into my life.
Aw.
Is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
I thought it was. I met math, like I said, in seventh grade, which are the puberty years. I want to point out. So, you know,
So we had a lot of weird times together, exploring each other's. Our own bodies.
yeah,
and-
yeah, yeah. We both, when you get a boner for the first time, Matt was the guy that was outside the tent. I won't tell that story. I guess.
Hey, a boner. What about you?
What is this? Have you guys ever have you seen that?
Maybe if we touch him, it'll feel good.
My penis just stood up. He must be scared.
Have you guys seen that Nick Kroll show? That animated show. What's it? Big Mouth. You guys have seen Big Mouth?
Yeah. I'm not too into it. I feel like all the jokes are too on the nose.
So yeah,
And moving right along.
yeah. Sorry,
But,
I was thrown off.
I'll-
But we're
let me
so we're talking
touch
about
on
the puberty
why.
years.
But he's like, hey, you gotta jerk off.
Oh, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I get it.
The coach
haha.
stuff's a little bit weird.
I don't
Oh, I
know.
love the coach, dude. The coach is the best part.
I just thought,
I'm gonna put it in you and then see where it goes and stuff, and we're gonna make happy time.
I just thought every joke was like, you just see it coming, and it's whatever. I don't know, coming. Haha. Okay, go.
So
What-
tell us,
do what you're gonna do.
tell us about. So you live out in California now. You ended up out here. Why
I
did
don't
you-
live in California anymore.
Oh, sorry.
I live in Mexico now,
You're-
just south of the border.
just south of the border.
where
So,
the war-
so
the-
what brought you to Mexico then?
Because I can't afford rent in California.
Oh, really? What do you do for work?
I work in IT, so I'm able to work from home, and was able to afford a beach house in Mexico and learn some other languages. I can't communicate with anyone, so I have to go to San Diego to talk to people.
Which even half the people there just speak Spanish anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not really doing yourself any favor.
I love it there.
So why Mexico though? Just because it's cheap and
No,
just 'cause you
I
can get a
love it
beach house?
there. It's dude.
Mexico's
Everything's
the greatest
better.
place on earth.
Why is
the
it better?
It's the greatest place on earth because you're allowed to touch at the strip clubs. Number one.
That's the only reason that Mexico became
also
number one. In the world.
tacos.
Tacos are great. I'll give that.
Micheladas.
Are you afraid you're gonna get stabbed and your kidneys gonna get sold? or
No,
something?
absolutely not. My
No.
town is super nice.
Yeah.
No, I was like, my town is like almost half white people. It's very,
That's racist.
yeah, whatever.
So you ended up. Did you go to college?
Yeah, here and there. I'm like the real life Van Wilder. It took me 7.5 years to get a bachelor's degree.
You got it though.
Yeah, I got it though.
Yeah. So that's good anyway. But yeah, I remember visiting you at UCSB, and it was probably the most wild college town I've ever been to. And I visited Plymouth and UNH. I mean, I guess New England schools really don't have shit on UCSB. They like to think they do, but man, that's think Hampton Beach, but just college students all the time raging in every single yard.
Oh, instead of 40-year-old, 30-year-old dudes.
Yeah, it is Hampton Beach, just college campus.
Well, let's say Jersey Shore instead of Hampton Beach.
No, there's not as much fist pumping.
Well, not everybody knows what Hampton Beach is.
Not
Yeah.
everybody knows what fist pumping is.
What do you think fist pumping is?
I know what fist pumping is.
So you I like to think of you, Matt, as the luckiest person in the world because for some reason shit just works out for you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like you're ditzy in kind of weird ways. You're
Just
like
dumb as hell. You can be honest.
You can be a super space cadet at times.
Matt's a ditzy blonde, dude.
Yeah, he's the ditziest blonde, but for some reason, like everything just works out for him. If anybody else would come over and like tell you, like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this crazy plan, and then I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna end up in Mexico, and I'll come back, and I'm gonna kill this deer," and with that, you'd be like, "What are you fucking crazy?" But for him, a week later, he's got a skinned deer in his house at beach house in Mexico. Hey, you're like, "What the hell? Whose dick
Yeah,
did you
honestly,
suck?"
sometimes I feel bad. Matt like tells me like this weekend, like he's like, "Oh, my car broke down. I have to go to the shop." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, right now
Thanks for
work-
caring.
It'll work out.
your car broke down on your way up here. We had to pick you
That's
up
right,
in Santa
yeah.
Barbara.
Yeah.
What happened?
So I was on my way up, and it started. I thought it was overheating, and it turns out that the overheat light was actually a transmission light the whole time. So I kept shutting my car off to let it cool off, and kept driving. So that was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
And then-
So it just broke down in Santa Barbara, though? You made it up there from Mexico.
yeah, I drove up, and I mean, it started fucking up like in like Oxnard, Ventura.
Yeah.
And I had to drive like 40 miles an hour on the freeway, and everyone was honking at me.
So what's your plans with it now?
I have no idea. I'm gonna have to like drive back to Mexico at like 3 in the morning, and
Can you drive it? Is it drivable?
yeah, it'll go like maybe 30, 35.
That's not good.
I don't know. Maybe I'll tow it. We'll see.
It'll end up there, though.
It'll get there. It'll get there. That's the thing. I mean,
Nobody
it's-
else will be able to make it get there.
It's
but
like what, a
you
6-hour
can make
drive
it
from
there.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
I can do it. 12 hours with my limitations.
I don't know why I had this question in here, but what's your favorite movie?
Goon.
Okay.
Oh, Matt loves that fucking movie.
I've seen it
Why
like
Goon?
9,000 times.
Every time
It's
we
a
go
hockey
by it on
movie with-
Netflix, he'd be like,
Dune?
Goon.
Goon?
Oh,
G-O-O-N.
Isn't that the
Goon.
it's a hockey movie with that Scott guy?
Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott guy?
Yeah.
yeah,
Stifler.
Stifler. Yeah.
Oh,
Stifler.
Tyler was watching. Oh fuck! I just banged the mic. I banged the mic.
Yeah, you have to pay.
Tyler and some people were watching that when I got home from work one night.
Recently?
Yeah, like this week or something.
Interesting. Well, I guess that's his favorite movie.
Yes, it's very relatable because I can't ice skate or play hockey either. So I relate to Sean William Scott in that movie.
He just like beats everybody up.
Yeah.
I caught a good 20 minutes of it.
He like
He's a
kinda like
hockey
Happy
player.
Gilmore, or
No.
He's doing
Well-
better than Happy Gilmore because in Happy Gilmore he wanted to play hockey, but they would never put him on the team. In this guy plays hockey, but he's not good at skating or anything. He just fights people. So it's like, and he just like skates over and starts beating the shit out of somebody.
but that's relatable to you.
Yeah, because he have no skills. I have no skills.
Yeah,
But
you
everything.
can't
But it
beat
worked
people.
out. Hey, but it worked out for him, didn't it?
Yeah.
I became a semi-professional hockey player.
Yeah. It's like it'll work out. Do you have any fail stories you want to talk about?
I could talk about one.
Yeah.
So, one thing that happened to me a few years ago, I was like, thought I was finally getting on my feet, right? It's like
Yeah.
everything takes a shit. I get on my feet a little bit, takes a shit again. So I'm getting on my feet a little bit. And I'm like, all right, I need a car. I didn't have a car at the time. I had just like my motorcycle and my work van, but no actual car. So I was
Where
like,
were you at this time?
I was
Where
living
you
in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the
and-
college town?
No, I was downtown Santa Barbara
cool.
at that point. Yeah. I got away from the college kids. I was a
Yeah.
little too old then.
Adult life.
Yeah, I was starting to turn
I was
into
a
an
little
adult,
too
right?
old then, but not anymore.
It's like a 28-year-old college kid.
Yeah, for real. No, but so my credit sucks because my student loans are through the roof and yada yada. Anyway, so I go to this car dealership that like specializes like we heart bad credit, right? That's their sign on that's their whole thing. I'm like, all right,
I'm the prime suspect. Here I am.
best customer, right?
Let's test this theory out.
Right. So I go in and I ended up buying a car, and it was actually Easter Sunday when I bought this car,
Oh,
right?
man. So they were in a giving mood then.
Yeah, the
we
ba-
got specials.
The banks were closed and everything, right? So they sell me this card. They're like, oh yeah, this and that. They run my credit. They're like, okay, we're gonna give you this in straight, this and that, blah blah blah. Like, great. I drove away with a new car. So awesome. I was so stoked. I've never had
Right.
anything so nice in my
Yeah.
life. I was so proud of myself.
What kind of car?
Good job.
It was a Honda Element. So it wasn't
Oh, nice.
it wasn't brand new. It was like 4 years old.
That's
but
like a
new to me.
crossover car, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got you.
That's like the box, right?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
toaster on wheels.
With those, with those dancing gerbils.
Never heard anybody describe it. It's a toaster on wheels. That's
Those
what they
dancing gerbils in the commercials, right?
Yeah, I loved that. I loved that car for the whole
Yeah.
week and a half I had it.
Yeah,
And-
the
and
week and a half.
What happened?
Wait.
So I drive off the lot with it. You know, these guys didn't need anything. I think my license was actually suspended at the time. It was like a whole thing. You know, I didn't have car insurance. And so I got in an accident a week and a half after getting it. Totally destroyed it. Front end smashed in. Yeah,
Oh
total.
my
Airbags
God.
went off.
No insurance?
Yeah, no
Oh my
insurance. This new
God.
car. It was a whole thing, right? And so I had to deal with that. Got more in trouble. And anyway, so they start calling me, the car dealership. They didn't know I got in an accident yet, by the way.
Yeah.
They're like calling me, and I was just dodging their calls 'cause I'm like, fuck, they know. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't have insurance. Like, whatever. And then eventually one of the guys actually showed up at my house because he had my address.
Oh no.
Yeah, he like knocked my salesman, right? And he had a bunch of paperwork with him.
Yeah, what did
and
they
he saw
want?
my car in the drive. He's like, what happened to the car? I'm like, oh, I got in an accident. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't have insurance.
Did
man.
you
I
know
was
who
like,
he was when you were answering these questions? Oh.
Yeah, he was the guy that sold me the car.
Oh.
Actually, yeah.
So what happened?
So he brings his paperwork up to me, and he's like showing me. He's like, hey, we got you approved from like this bank. It's not like the interest rate that we told you. We couldn't approve you for that interest rate, and it was like ridiculous, like 24%
Yeah,
interest
it's 'cause
rate
they
or
couldn't-
something.
They couldn't
They
approve
couldn't
you.
approve me on like the original.
So
you
what?
know.
They kind of just give you. So they give you a forms in like good faith and they think that they're giving it to banks that approve everybody type
for
of thing.
the interest rate.
So
Yeah.
they're doing
not
it-
Matt Hoffman.
Yeah, so they're getting you to sign because they're like, this bank approves everybody. Like,
Yeah.
they'll approve you and in good grace give you the keys and let you drive off the lot.
Exactly.
Are they allowed to do that? Is that legal?
I guess so. I mean, I did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it's
any-
not in their best interest, clearly.
Well, yeah. Continue that.
Yeah, clearly it's not in their best interest because it was anyway. So they're like, oh well, you need to sign this because this is the bank that's going to give you a loan for 24% interest or something. I'm like, no. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, no one actually gave me a loan yet?
Yeah.
So no one actually gave me a loan. So that car was just like a mystery car. I don't know who owned it. It
So the-
wasn't me.
So the files that you signed were pretty much null and
Yeah, they were
void.
garbage. They
They
didn't
were
mean anything
garbage
'cause
after
no
that.
bank took it over.
So they
Yeah.
didn't officially sell you the car.
Right.
So how long were they hitting you up for?
Well, he like came to try to get me to sign it like a few weeks after, you know, and I got the car towed back to my house. It was in my driveway because I didn't know what to do with it yet.
Yeah.
And I just kind of forgot about it. I just rode my motorcycle around. It was
You
just back to having no
knew,
car.
I'm not going to take responsibility for this car.
Pretty much.
Oh
So-
my god!
Now the whole Mexico thing's starting to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
he left to Mexico.
So, yeah, they tried to get me signed this crazy interest rate, and I was just like, no, hard pass. And then they tried to take me to court, and the whole thing got dropped. I didn't owe a penny for that car. I absolutely
Yeah.
totaled it.
Nice.
Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. It just
I
worked
think
out so well. I
my-
ended up parking it on the street, and it got towed, and I just said,
well,
fuck it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a car for a week and a half.
Did they stop calling you?
Well, no, I mean, because I did the whole court thing with them, and court dropped it. They
Did you-
took me
did
to
you
court.
go to court with
yeah.
them?
Yeah, they
And
took
then they
me.
said, "Well, there's nothing that you can like.
Yeah,
Nothing you can do.
pretty-
You shouldn't have sold them that car."
Exactly.
Oh
It
man,
worked out so well.
I remember my brother used to be a car dealer. So anything car related like that or that goes with
Oh,
dealerships.
your brother's the one that told me not to sign anything.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you give him a call. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the one that would get her. Corey, we take him on all our trips and stuff. We go like on our international trips and trips around the country, and we usually to come with us, you have to have
a particular set of skills.
a particular set of skills, so to speak. Corey's got like he brings nothing to the table, and like he's a pretty good climber or whatever, but he brings absolutely nothing to the table. I didn't know he's listening to this. Shout out, Corey. What's up?
You what?
But
What up, asshole?
He's
I'm
one of
better-
those guys.
No. 1 second. I am better than Corey Trudell at NHL. Any
video
year,
games,
doesn't matter.
probably, whatever.
I'll fuck you up in Shell. I've done it, and I'll do
Okay.
it again, bitch.
But here's the particular skill that he does have, and it's like this. We say we don't. Here's the thing about Corey: you don't ever usually need him, but when you do, you fucking need him. Like we broke down one time in the middle of Utah, and like a budget van that we rented's tire blew. And we called them, and there was no spare tire in there. We're like, what the fuck? And the reason the tire shredded was because it was their fault and everything. And we're like, well, we're in the middle of the desert. Can you guys get us towed or do it? They're like, no, it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. Corey's like, hold my beer. And then he just calls him. He's like, all right, I'm just going to drop a line to the Better Business Bureau and tell them about all this shit. Hey, you sent us some like faulty product, and then the tire blew and we almost died, and it was your fault. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like within an hour, we got a new tire and a new spare to put underneath the fucking thing. And so stuff like that, it just comes up as just like little technical things that he's like, oh, no, business stuff, I got this shit. And he just takes care of it for you. It's kind of like this situation.
It's like building a good...
If you call Corey and he's like, don't sign anything.
Yeah. Well, he's a car salesman, so I was like, yeah, this is the only car salesman I know.
Yeah.
Where's this guy?
Yeah, that was a good one. I have another fail story about. I want to talk about Matt actually really quick. This one goes back to, actually it's not high school because here's the deal. We graduated and I moved to Florida. This is the week before I moved to Florida, and I remember we had a going away party that was going on for me, I believe, and it was supposed to be at the sand dunes. And I was coming back from my parents. They had like the seasonal campground up in Maine that they used to hang out at, that we all chill at every once in a while. And so there was in this undeveloped development, we always threw
Bill!
these big bonfire.
Wake the fuck up.
I'm awake. I'm just listening blissfully with my eyes closed.
I'm just resting my eyes, Mom.
Yeah. So we had this
Don't send me to bed.
We had this bonfire camp out planned in these sand dunes. And I'm heading back from Maine to like meet everybody. On my drive back, were you at this party, Fredy?
No, I couldn't make it that night.
Couldn't make that one. All right. So it's just you and me, Matt. So I head down. I hear on the way back that the party had gotten busted by the cops for some reason. I don't remember the exact. Was that the same night?
I think
it wasn't a propane tank that was.
No. I think, remember that girl Rachel called the cops because she wasn't invited?
Oh,
She knew where we were
yeah.
because her ex-boyfriend was there and we didn't want to invite her, and she got all butthurt and called the cops on us.
Right. Fucking petty bullshit. Anyway, yeah. Anyways, I hear it got broken up on my way down from Maine back to it. And this is like my last hoorah in New England before I move away forever. And I was like, okay, whatever. And they were like, oh, we're moving the party to Harvey's. We're moving the party to our buddy Harvey's house. And he lived across the street from Matt. So that's where everybody's going. His parents are never home. Matt's parents, none of our parents were ever home, actually. For the weekend, we all just
abandoned.
jumped around. Yeah, all of us. We just jumped from house to house because none of our parents were ever
No
around.
one taught me how to have good credit.
Yeah. That was me.
To be fair, if your mom was around, she ain't teaching you that. You might have taught her a thing or two.
Yeah. So we're all at Harvey's in his basement, and like I show up to Harvey's, and there's probably at least 30 people there. Like there's a ton of like underage kids, like all our age, chilling.
Like 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah, we're chilling. So I guess about 2 hours had passed since the initial like bust had happened at the Sand Dudes, and everybody was really adamant about going back and getting all the beer we left. It was like 230 racks.
It was like 2 or 330 racks.
It was like 2 or 330.
We couldn't
racks.
buy more. We were 18.
Yeah.
Dude, when you're under 21,
Yeah.
fucking 2 or 3 30 racks, that's like $50,000.
Yeah, with 30
Right?
underage kids.
Yeah, we
in a
all pitched
basement.
in $3 for those, you know? Like, that was
Yeah.
important.
It was important. But so I had just driven down from Maine.
Some girl had to show a guy over 21 her boobs. It was crazy, bro. Getting beer back in the day? Ooh.
So I driving down from Maine and one of the only sober people there. Matt also was semi-ish sober.
Yeah.
We were the two most coherent there.
Matt has never in his life been the most coherent person.
He was
at a party.
he was
You shut
there.
the fuck up.
Yeah. Our other buddy, Teddy. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Teddy. He's like the crooked friend that kind of hangs around you that you.
If you ever need shady shit done, he's the one to do it.
Yeah, like if you say, "Hey, I like that T-shirt," a day later he walks out of that store with the like, "Hey, I stole you this T-shirt." It's like, thanks, dude.
I knew a guy like that. His name was Wes Dustin.
Wes Dustin.
That's a pretty cool name.
He
Did he star in
Never
porn?
mind. Well, I'm gonna go way off track if I start talking about Wes Dustin.
Yeah. But this guy, that's just I mean, he was in and out of jail. I mean, YDC and stuff through high school and everything. And let's just say he had a record before
We could
this.
talk 4 hours.
For hours.
Oh,
about it.
absolutely.
No,
I would love.
hours.
I wonder if he'll come on the podcast.
Okay, yeah, probably have to phone him in.
I would have to. Yeah, definitely. He ain't coming out here.
And he could only interview for 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah. So
on Saturdays from 2 to 2:15.
yeah. Here's why Teddy came with us is because he knew where all the beer was. And we needed a person like that. So I specifically said before we got in the car, Matt doesn't smoke weed or anything, so he's usually cool on drug aspect. But Teddy is not. So I was like, guys, you're not bringing anything with you because we're a bunch of underage kids about to go to an illegal land that we were partying on to retrieve
Yeah, Teddy
beer.
promised he didn't have
Yeah,
anything.
he promised he had nothing. Everyone's like, yeah, we're good. Okay, so we get in the car. I'm driving. Matt's in the passenger seat. Teddy's in the back. We drive down to the entrance, which is it's like a gate that's closed, so everybody has to park like in the little residential neighborhood and walk down this like half a mile long dirt road to get to the actual dunes in the hidden area. So the gate
Yeah,
is
the dunes is it's like a construction area where eventually they plan on building more cookie cutter homes.
There are
Yeah.
houses
I
there
think there's
now.
houses
It's
there,
so
yeah.
fucking weird, dude, going back
you
and
went-
driving through those
yeah.
neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is where I used to light off fucking works bombs.
Yeah. So we go back and we see that the gate is closed, which is a good sign. So gate closed means because the cops can open them for some reason. They had the keys and they would go in and they'd do all that shit. But the gate was closed, so we're like, all right, we're good. Let's park and go in there. So we pull down in the corner where that cul-de-sac where we park. Get to the end of the cul-de-sac. There's a cop car. And they're shining like lights in the checking and they're ticketing all like the college kids that are back at Harvey's houses, cars and stuff like that were left there and everything. And we're going into a cul-de-sac. So when you see them, you're fucked. That's it. There's no turn. Like you have to
But
go
you
to the
guys
end.
are walking.
No, we're driving.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
thought you
drove. We were
parked.
driving Mikey's car.
No, we were driving.
You should have been walking, you dumb fuck.
No, it was the one behind Megan's. I don't want to go in detail because nobody knows what that is, but it was about a mile and a half away. It was the further one. So we drove there, and then we pulled in the cul-de-sac, and they see the cop. The cops immediately look over and see a car coming in, and then ignore anything that they're doing. And we try to drive like slickly past to like turn around and come back, and they're just shining the lights in the car and tell us to pull over. And we get in, and then he just immediately goes, "So how much beer you got in the car? You got any weed in there too?" I was like, "I don't have any of that stuff in here."
As Teddy's swallowing all the.
Oh yeah! Before he even
drugs
came
in his
over.
pocket.
Yeah, before he even came over. That's right. So
Motherfucker said no drugs, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh fuck!" He grabs a fistful of drugs. I don't even know what they were. It's like a mixture of fucking
Yeah.
mushrooms.
Yeah, who
and,
knows
like,
what Teddy was doing?
Yeah,
he just
I
fucking
go-
ate everything.
I turn around and go, "You guys don't have anything on you, right?" And I'm like looking at Teddy, and he goes, "I'm eating it right now." So
I just pictured him doing it.
yeah. So I thought for sure, I was like, all right, they're gonna take him away, and then we're gonna go on because there's no alcohol in the car, there's nothing, and then like we're good. So it was like we're fine. So he comes over and asks for stuff, asks how much we drink, like tries to search our car, doesn't find anything, and then doesn't talk to like Teddy at all for some reason. He took all our IDs. He brought me through like the whole like
His best bet. He doesn't even bother
yeah.
talking to him.
He does the whole field sobriety test. He pulls Matt out and like separates us from him and then puts him in cuffs and puts him in the back of the freaking cop car. And then doesn't tell us anything for a while. And then afterwards, like he's like, all right, we're going to take your friend in and arrest your friend. And we're like, why? And they're like, well, I'm not authorized to tell you that right now or anything. Here's the address you can pick him up from. You can call here. This is where he's going. And we're like, what the fuck?
What did Matt do?
What did Matt do? Like, what secret life was he been living?
Did he kill someone?
Yeah. So, mind you, this is about a week before I'm about to leave for college. Like, I was like, what? So I go back to the house. I go downstairs into the party, and I go, all right, Matt got arrested, passing the hat around. His bond is $300. Let's get Matt out of jail. We pass the hat around, and
$27.
yeah, that is what it was actually, and I covered the rest. And one person I will always lend money to is Matt Hoffman, because he's never. This is like one of maybe 2 instances in his entire life where he's ever asked to borrow money, and both of those times he's paid me back the next day. So he's solid about that. He doesn't like borrowing money.
I pay my friends back, not the banks.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah. Like, yeah, of course I'll pay you back. He doesn't have a car to pay for.
He doesn't like borrowing money, but he's extremely good about that. So we went down there, got him out of jail. He gets in, and we're like, dude, what the fuck did you do? He's like, I had a warrant for unpaid parking tickets. We're like, are you fucking kidding me?
How much did those parking tickets end up costing?
I don't.
Was it $300?
I don't remember exactly. I had to do like the whole court thing for it and everything, and
Because you were delivering pizza at the time, right? So
Yeah.
you needed your license.
yeah, it was probably, dude. Honestly, I think my license was suspended like most of the time I was driving.
Yeah, let's be real. You
Yeah.
don't need a license to drive.
Like delivering pizza like at the restaurant, they didn't care. They just needed workers.
Yeah, I worked at that pizza place and a couple other pizza places back in New Hampshire, and they require car insurance. you get the car insurance.
He was doing hand
you
quotes, by
cancel
the
it
way.
the next day, get your money back.
Yeah. Okay. You guys want to talk about some movies?
Yeah.
All right. There's a movie we haven't really talked about too much that's coming out is Lion King. That's one that's gearing up a lot. So that comes out.
Can you feel the? Sorry.
I always like to do the more of the.
It sounds like Adam Sandler trying to do the line. Simba.
I like to end it on that, actually.
Yeah, so now you guys don't really have to see the new movie.
Yeah,
we
you
just
got
kind
it
of
all.
did the whole thing for you.
But yeah,
Moving on.
Beyonce, Donald Glover. It should be fun. That comes out July 19th. Any of you guys got some crazy stuff to say about that? The trailer's out. Have you seen the trailer?
The
No,
trailer's
but
just
I've-
like Circle of Life kind of thing, right?
That's the one I saw.
Is there another one?
Is there something that's more in depth about? No. Yeah, they just kind of have the big circle of life and like the build up to the thing. They don't have really any speaking lines in it, which I don't really like. But
Eric Andre is one of the hyenas too. Let's not forget about
yes, I
that.
did see that on his
He's
Instagram.
an iconic laugh, dude. I was at the Comedy Store one night, and this dude's laughing behind us for fucking everything, pissing me off. And I get up to leave. I think you were with me, Matt. And I get up to go out and have a smoke, and it's fucking Eric Andre. So
you've met him?
no, I didn't.
Saw
fucking
him
talk
from a
to him.
distance.
But
Dude, why the fuck didn't you ask him to be on the podcast?
The podcast did not exist
6
then.
months ago.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch his show, Eric Andre?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it a few times.
It's one of my favorite shows of all
I
time, dude.
love that show so much.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
Well,
I like his.
Just one question. Pop rocks, magic or science?
I love his interviews when that's right.
One of my favorite interviews that he did was they come back from a commercial and he's like, all right, and my next guest, a grizzly bear. A grizzly bear, and just a a bear just comes out and
I saw the clips
fucks
from
the
that.
chair
Like
up
a
and
real
smashes
bear,
the
and he
desk.
starts getting scared.
Yeah, and then
down.
it just cuts at bam, bam, bam. Like that. We'll be right back.
Oh, one of my favorite ones. I think it was Lauren Conrad. I think he throws up, and then he has snakes just come out of his mug.
Yep.
Jesus. Another movie I want to talk about is they're currently in production for the Bill and Ted remake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Can you play the music we recorded for Keanu Reeves segment?
Sure.
This is a turkey. It's like going up and down the guitar. Like really fast. Like it's pretty awesome.
Morpheus.
Reeves, take the blue pill.
There you go.
Or is it the red pill?
So you're welcome, people.
The red pill, okay.
I'm colorblind.
Although, if in real life, dude, I would have taken the blue pill all day. Yeah, the steak tastes like steak. That chick in the white dress her red dress is hot as fuck.
In real life, Fredy does take the blue
realistically, with Keanu Reeves, I think he's right up there with Nicolas Cage. I think he's one of the shittiest actors in the whole industry.
Go
wait,
fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Cut his mic. Cut his mic. I will not put up with this.
But
Did you not see that new Netflix movie where he was dating that chick that was the chef? What the hell was it?
That's
What?
Ratatouille, and that is not. He's not in that.
I did not
You think
see
you Patton
that where
Oswalt.
he's dating the chef.
Oh shit! Yeah, Ali Wong. Yeah, what the hell is that movie called?
Oh, maybe a
It's-
chance.
Always be my maybe.
Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Always
Keanu
Be.
Reeves' part was fucking amazing.
Was it a romantic
He plays
comedy?
himself.
It was a kind of a rom-com, yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
All right.
Dad from Fresh Off the Boat.
The
Okay.
dad from Fresh Off the Boat. I never saw that show.
I
think
worked on it.
I knew somebody who used to work on it.
I worked on
And
it
that's
for
the whole
that was
story.
one of my first union shows, for season 2 or something like that. It was cool. I liked it.
Like,
Let me.
it's decent enough to watch.
I'm not done with Keanu Reeves. Okay.
Not enough to maintain.
No one is ever done with him.
I'm not done with Keanu Reeves. All right, I want to state my case with that reaction. All right,
We're going to court, babies.
this is the same thing. Okay, same with Nick Cage.
This
Nick
is where
Cage is
can we-
openly a
Nick,
shitty actor.
Wait a minute. Can we
Yes.
add a gavel, Nick, in post? Like a boom, boom.
Like a Law and Order.
These two people are not.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but see, Nick Cage he's a Coppola. He's
Yeah, that's why he's famous, because it's
Yeah.
not because of his acting. Because
Keanu-
the only thing I like Nick Cage in is probably in
Keanu?
Raising Arizona. Keanu Reeves.
Right? No, see, that's the thing about Nick Cage. He is awesome when he plays a fucking loser.
Yeah,
When he tries
he's
to play
great.
a cool guy, you're like, all right, come on, Nick Cage.
Okay.
Nick Cage,
Have you
get outta
guys
here.
seen one of Nick Cage's? It's not really recent, but Drive Angry.
No.
Drive Angry is fucking amazing. One of his lines in it was, what was it? It was, he's like fucking this chick, fully dressed. And she goes,
The fabric of
Can
his
we
pants are just going inside her.
Can we get back to
she-
Keanu Reeves
Let me
already?
say the line. She says, "Why don't you take your clothes off?" And he's like, "I never disrobe before a gunfight." And some guy instantly kicks a fucking
God.
door in and starts shooting at him, and he pulls a shotgun out of his trench coat. And
That's
he
like
has a gunfight while he's balls deep in this woman
that
the entire time.
That happened in another movie. Did you ever see Shoot 'Em Up with what's his name, Clive Owen?
no, I don't-
No.
He is having sex and a gunfight is happening. It's very silly.
Beautiful. Or
does he
weird?
maintain the sex the entire gunfight? That was the question.
Yeah, I think he does. But
okay.
and another thing in that movie is he's always eating carrots because it makes his eyes sharp. So there's parts where he's
Yeah.
and he's eating a carrot while
That's
he's moving
dumb.
around, and you see his vision get better, and he's
That's not
firing.
how carrots work.
Yeah,
Yes, it is,
apparently
Fredy.
yeah. Welcome to nutrition, Fredy.
What's up, Doc?
You just moved to LA, just learned about nutrition, eat some carrots, and you'll be able to see again. Freddie's been blind for the last 3 years.
Back to Keanu Reeves, though. My case. I think he's very good in specific movies that are kind of. I love it. I love Bill and Ted because he's a great idiot. You don't need to be a good actor for that type of role. Yeah, excellent. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's just it's such easy. Like, if you're a shittier actor, you're actually better for that type of role.
Yeah.
So that works. The other one is obviously John Wick. I love the John Wick movies, and I love his action. I love how he's like so quick and into the training, but that doesn't make him a good actor.
What
for
about
those
Point
scenes.
Break?
I fucking hated him.
What
in
about the
Point
first
Break.
Matrix?
Dude. Nah, wasn't it? He doesn't.
I've never seen him in a movie where
That's
I'm
all
like,
his movies.
Oh, this is an amazing.
That's what I'm
performance."
saying. See, he's not great.
But
And-
I can't imagine. Like, obviously, it's pretty well known that Will Smith was up for Neo, the Witches of Eastwick brothers, Wachowski brothers.
I believe they're the sisters now, didn't they all?
Oh,
didn't
okay, the sisters.
They both transitioned into women, so they're the Wachowski sisters now.
But anyway, the story is that they fucked up the pitch. Like, they just couldn't pitch a movie, and Will Smith was like, "This sounds like bullshit." But honestly, I can't picture anybody but Keanu
no,
as Neo, and I
Yeah,
love the first Matrix.
He was great.
Agreed.
I love the first Matrix movie. I watched that thing 1,000 times.
It wasn't a great performance, but it's still a great movie.
I liked the second one for the action. It had a lot of cool action,
The
but I'm
second
like,
one was
okay.
good. Third
all right.
one-
The third one, I saw it in the theater and never watched it again.
Honestly, if they were like, "Hey, we're just gonna remake the third one,"
They
and do
they
better,
took all the stuff that made the first one awesome and threw it in a trash can.
Mhm.
And that's it. That's the whole conversation.
Well, that's,
Moving on.
I feel The Matrix was meant to be one movie, and the second one is just a completely different movie.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't care for him unless it's Bill and Ted and John Wick, which I'm saying, which is really relevant for right now because those are the two movies that he's doing that I'm really.
Oh,
Well, I
Speaking
care about him.
Speaking of Wicks, have I got a story to tell you?
Oh man, coming in early on this one. All
I
right,
just want to
okay.
say I
Yeah.
care a lot about
That's
Keanu
fine.
Reeves on a personal level. And if he ever needs anything, I'll be there to high five him.
On
and
a
hang
personal
out.
level, he's supposed to be the best person in Hollywood, and we'll leave it. We'll tell about that. Like he's supposed to be the most approachable, like greatest dude ever to me.
He blew my ex-girlfriend a kiss while she was working at Chateau Marmont, and
Can we
then
cut the last part of that sentence out and just keep "he blew my ex-girlfriend"?
perfect. But then he laughed because he realized how silly he was being. He was drunk. Moving on. What were you talking
Back to
about?
what I
Some
was
shit?
He had Freddie had a story to tell us.
We were talking about John Wick, and it reminded me the Wicks.
The Wicks.
Have I got a story to tell you?
I'm ready for that.
I'm sitting in my house, right? You know,
Yeah.
I'm living with Matt in Westwood.
In Westwood?
Westwood.
Westwood. There's no R.
Oh.
I'm actually no, I'm not
I
there.
thought you lived in
I'm
Santa
at Camp
Monica.
Woodward,
Well, we
learning
did.
how to skateboard.
We didn't live in Santa Monica or Westwood. We lived like right in the middle. It was technically LA still. It was West Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Santa Wood.
Right next
Yeah,
to
Santa
the
Wood. You
Rim.
could call it that.
Westwood sounds fancier though, so I
me and Matt live
I
2
like that
blocks
part
from
of the story.
We live 2 blocks from UCLA.
We lived in Beverly
it was like
Hills.
15 blocks from UCLA.
So I got a little business going, a little side business, as you do in LA.
What was your side business?
I made aromatherapy candles.
What?
Yeah, you guys
Like-
were talking about John Wick, so it reminded me.
So these aromatherapy candles, what type of scents did they have?
Lavender rose wood.
Lavender rosewood. Mm-hmm. That was like your star scent. That was your bestseller, or
Tangerine.
Dream.
Tangerine Dream.
No, but that's a better name than what it was.
Wow,
It's
man. You
tangerine.
need I think you have a job waiting for you if the whole prop thing
Yeah.
doesn't work out or ADing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that one's taken.
I'm also pretty sure nothing will ever work out for me.
Yeah, it will. Anyways, continue, Freddie.
Okay, should I give one more name for this fake story? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, give us one more, man. One more flavor. Banana.
Banana daiquiri.
I'll take two.
Thank you, Freddie.
And cream. Banana daiquiri cream.
Thanks, Freddie.
There's like a creamy hint to it.
Yeah, that was good.
Anyway, so I'm making these
Creamy
candles,
beige.
right? I figure I got a stockpile because these are gonna sell.
Yeah, of course.
The second I put the second I put these up on Etsy, they're gonna fly off the shelves.
Like wildfire.
And the thing is, I'm adding cumins.
Humans.
I'm adding
Are those like humans, but they're really tiny?
cumins.
I always saw that and thought, because it's spelt like coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Come in my butt.
Oh,
I
trust
wanna
me,
put it
with
as
my
a
sense of humor. I've put that together.
So you put some coming in it.
Yeah, so some herbs.
Freddie was coming.
Really, what we're trying to say is Freddie came in a candle, and that's
And if you bought one,
yeah.
Basically, I came
Burning
up
this motherfucker
with
down.
my own way to heal your inner soul. Okay.
I think Freddie's second beer has got him a little.
No,
Well,
he's into
silly.
this. Yeah, he
I
knows the
sold.
story.
I opened up the Etsy, right? Things didn't go as planned.
What happened? What happened?
I figured I had a stockpile of about 60 candles. I figured 3 months, right? 3 months,
Which-
they'll be gone.
Which flavor was the stockpile though? Is it all
was-
those ones that you mentioned, or
Evenly distributed
Oh, okay.
amongst how many I originally said I made of each.
okay, cool. So continue.
Okay. So it did not work out.
Yep.
I sold 2 in the first 3 months.
2.
Yeah.
Your promotion team was really slacking on this one, man.
My promotion team was the woman that lives upstairs.
What was her name? Who is
Her
she?
promotion was she was the person who bought 2 of the candles. She paid cash, but she did by cash. I gave it to her half price for Christmas. That was her Christmas gift. She's a very nice lady. I still had to.
So wait, whoa.
I still had to have her
Back
pay for
up.
the
No.
ingredients. Basically.
So she was the only one that bought your 2 candles, but really you bought them for her as a Christmas gift.
Oh no, I gave them to her, and
Half
then
price.
said, "Yeah, exactly, half price." I
Oh.
can't just be giving the candles away.
Well, yeah.
Merry Christmas.
That comes
It's gonna be about $15 because these were $30 candles.
The health inspector will be
Who
by in the
valued
morning.
these candles?
Yeah, what was the amount that went into manufacturing each candle?
Um,
What was the
about
return?
30 seconds of
What
hand
was the
labor.
return on this? Yeah.
about $2.
Oh, okay. So that's a pretty big return. That's
That's a hefty profit.
hefty profit.
Hefty.
Actually, no, he was investing in a lot of pineapples, so it smelled a little sweeter.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Got a little bit of extra with it.
So there were some unintended consequences with these candles.
So, and you had a lot of them around.
Yeah.
There were too many.
What was the
Our house was full of cum candles.
really
There was not cum in these candles. There was herbs and spices.
and coming.
I did not do any research. I will say this. I figured, that's how research is done. Blind test subjects.
Yeah.
Why does it smell like shit in here, Freddie?
Yeah. So what did you do with the rest of them? What ended up happening?
Oh, I went out in the middle of the night and I dug a pit and I burnt them. So the world could never find these candles.
that's
After
some-
what they did to the woman
That
upstairs,
sounds That sounds like some
I couldn't allow
satanic
these
shit
candles
right
out.
there. You went out and like dug a hole and and burnt them all in like a circle. Did you do some like ritual prayers
Well,
and
the
shit
thing
like that?
is,
Did you have a Ouija board with
the
you?
thing is,
like,
these candles. Let
were
me
you
fucking tell you.
summoning- were you
How about I
summoning
tell
some
you
shit?
what fucking
Well,
happened?
you're not getting
Instead
to
of
the
you
point,
saying a
bitch.
bunch of bullshit. I
Talking
don't
in
need your
circles,
shit. I
looking
feel
at the
bad enough
candle.
with
I
what
would
happened
be
to
so
this
much
woman.
candle wax.
okay, continue.
Okay. So these candles are meant to, heal your soul and, set you up, make you feel good. But it turns out that over the course of the next month after burning these candles on a daily basis, this woman got divorced. Her husband instantly started cheating on her
Jesus Christ.
from the moment she lit the wick. How
John-
I know that information, I
John
'Cause
Wick.
I don't
were
know how
you
I
the
would know.
person she was cheating with on?
wasn't fucking the husband, no. And yeah, long story short,
Nick is doing some sort
Uh,
of
long
1940s
story
dance
short.
And Nick
move.
is giving a shut the fuck up, Freddy motion.
long story
so-
short,
Long story
after this
short,
long
this
story.
woman is living on Skid Row with track marks up and down her arm. So these candles do not heal the soul at all, which is why I ended up burning them in a pit. And anyway, this message is brought to you by
Promo
Have I got a
code.
story to tell you? You want to know who brought you these candles?
this.
Are you gonna plug the candles?
Moving on.
Yeah. Completely unrelated to the woman on Skid Row with
if
track
you want,
marks.
if you want to buy these candles,
If usually you would have to pay money for amazing candles, but not with an app that doesn't accept currencies of any denomination.
45 minutes of
So-
this podcast is about fake candles.
yeah. No, Freddie, where can we get these candles?
We can't. They're burnt.
No, you can probably find these candles. Or not these candles. You don't want these candles. These are the devil's candles.
They have Freddie coming.
You could probably find candles. You could get Starbucks gift cards. You can get Amazon gift cards. You can even donate to charity. Who doesn't love charity?
Why is the door open?
All you have to do
Nick's
is
leaving.
listen to our podcast on Podcoin.
Oh,
On
wait.
the Podcoin app. Listen
What
to
do the
our
candles
podcast.
have to do with the house?
I'm trying to fucking make it work here, Mike.
Okay. Podcoin.
Podcoin. You can probably
Pod.
find candles on there somewhere. You can go on Amazon. Amazon has everything. They offer Amazon gift cards. Boom, they connect.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's a gift card for your candles on Podcoin, right?
I refuse to sell these candles.
There's actually a real promo code for this one. Freddie's not bullshitting.
Ooh,
Podcoin's a real thing. We
ah.
it's kind of a sponsor. We don't get paid or anything, but we get.
Don't tell them that. They don't need to know our business,
No.
our lack
I'm
of
not having
business.
We
Oh,
just
we're-
sent it.
Listen,
we may not
listeners,
be getting paid by
listen
Podcoin,
up.
but we are getting paid. Trust me.
We are getting paid by
Get that
Podcoin.
fucking bread.
We're getting
Did you say
Podcoins.
Prodcoin?
Podcoin.
Prod?
We're getting Podcoins.
Are they physical
Okay,
things?
okay,
I want
let's-
to collect a lot and dive into
Freddie,
the thing like
Freddie,
the
do you want to
Scrooge McDuck.
explain how Podcoin works?
Yes,
He doesn't know.
I just transferred my whole podcast library over to Podcoin. By that I mean I resubscribed to everything on Podcoin, deleted my old app, because on Podcoin you get paid for listening to things you were already listening to.
Like, not real money, but you get Podcoins.
I mean, an Amazon gift card isn't real money.
Are those
You
the
can buy
things that go in
anything
the
on there.
urinal?
no. Okay, here's what happens.
Let me flesh it out, because I know what I'm doing. Let me flesh it out.
All right.
Okay, so I transferred everything over. Now, say I listen to, Joe Rogan. I listen to
Yeah.
Rogan podcasts a lot.
Yeah.
Now, say I listen through. That's a fucking 2-hour podcast every 10 minutes.
It's a
of
2-hour
podcast.
podcast every 10 minutes? Wow.
Yeah, he uploads
Wow.
every 10 minutes.
He does a lot of fucking episodes.
Okay, so I listen to a 2-hour podcast. Every 10 minutes of that particular podcast that I'm listening to that is 2 hours long, I get... How many coins is it, Mikey? 1 pod coin?
No, you get for every 10 minutes you listen to, you get 1 pod coin.
Yeah, exactly. And the pod coins add up. And
yeah, like the equivalent gift card to Dunkin' Donuts for $3. So something that you'll get, or Starbucks. So you'll get 1 coffee for, I think it's 1,500 pod coins.
yeah, which isn't that bad.
1,500.
You're listening to this
So
shit
after
anyway,
2
dude.
years, you get a coffee.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can donate it to charity.
No, you're listening to this shit anyway, dude. Why not just listen to
that's
this
true.
and eventually earn something? The best part is you can also decide to donate it to charity. You can give, even low amounts. Like I think it was like less than 500 pod coins feeds fucking 5 kids or something
yeah,
like that.
I think they put in a boost for charity. If you decide to do it to charity, they match it or something along
There's
those
charity
lines.
for feeding children,
Yeah.
giving books to children, giving
He doesn't know. He's just making shit
I
up
was gonna
now.
say something and then I was like, don't say that.
But the best part about it is,
Dicks to children.
oh no. But the best part is, what do we have with that? If you want more, if you want more Podcoin, just for signing up, what should these people do, Freddie?
When you sign up, you'll put in there was a little misunderstanding there for a little bit with Apple, but I believe they fixed it, right,
Fixed it.
Mikey?
Yeah, it's good. I got my
So basically,
300.
when you sign up, you will put in your name, your email address, your password, and then the line
How tall you are, whether you're susceptible to diseases.
the
your
line
si-
under that. Shut the fuck up, Bill.
Now you know how everyone else feels.
The line under that. So you got what, 5? Those are 5 lines. The 5th line.
I don't know.
You
It's
put
like
in the
name,
promo
password.
Code.
Yeah.
You put in that fucking sweet,
got a
sweet
lot of
promo
lines.
code.
It's like a
You let
piece
it
of
hit your
paper.
lips, and you put it into the keyboard, and it's Hollywood. Promo code Hollywood, and you will get 400,
300.
300 popcorn.
Yeah,
400,
no, right.
300s.
Don't think
We
of it.
actually have a promo code, and he's still doing it wrong.
Yeah, put in 300 pod coins, dude. You could instantly donate that to charity and
Pod
feed fucking
coins.
children in
Africa?
what I assume is Africa.
Pod
Because I don't
coins.
know geography, because
That's
in my
the only
schools they don't
place where
teach
there's
geography.
people that are
Maybe
hungry.
you fucking donate it to books and give a kid in New Hampshire a
Yeah.
fucking geography book.
So Matt, you're gonna download Podcoin now, right?
Well, actually, I
Don't
use.
put pressure on him. He
I'm
doesn't even
subscribed.
have a car.
new
Hey,
guests.
I don't have any of my own accounts or anything. I actually use Freddie's Spotify Premium because
God damn it! We're not
I
getting
don't-
those ratings.
I
We're
don't
missing
follow us
one
on
download.
Spotify, so you
I'm
don't follow
signed
us.
in on everyone's everything. I don't do anything.
He signed
Well,
in on
that's
your
fair.
Hulu account. Listener, he is signed in on your Hulu
Yeah,
account.
that's fair because he used to work at AT&T, so we all took his HBO and Showtime.
That's
and
right.
everything for,
Sharing
like,
is caring.
years,
He is
and now he
stealing-
doesn't have it, so none of us have HBO. I have to pay for HBO now.
If
Game
you're
of Thrones
listening to
was
this
bought
right
this
now
season.
and you rent Cinemax, Matt is stealing it so he can jerk off at midnight.
But seriously, put in promo code Hollywood when you sign up for Podcoin. Listen there, you're just
That
gonna
is
make money. It's so easy.
HOLLYWOO.
All right,
D.
people know how to spell. They're not all. Not everyone's from New Hampshire, Freddie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, we have our Twitter is like Hollywoo because we couldn't fit the D.
Matt, is there anywhere our listeners can find you? Do you want them to find you?
I mean, I'm not that cool. I mean, I have some pictures of my golden retriever and my motorcycle on
That's the coolest
Instagram.
part. He
Oh, so what
yeah.
you're saying is you're trying to fuck puss.
No,
Matt's one of those KTM guys. He like eats, sleep, and breathes KTM everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. I have like 63 followers, so you know I'm a big deal.
Yeah, huge deal, man. He
MWHOFFMAN.
There you go. Yeah, he does wheelies and stuff,
M.W.
and
Hoffman.
and then falls on his back in Pismo Beach.
Your debt collectors are listening to this right now.
I know.
Like,
Shit.
Yeah, I know.
ask him
Like,
his phone number.
We know where he is. He's in Pismo.
How tall are you? Are you
I mean-
susceptible to
His current phone
diseases?
Ask him his current
I live in
phone.
Mexico now, so I plan on posting a lot of really cool Mexico stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start taking social media more seriously.
Yeah, if people pay attention to me, maybe I'll.
Yeah.
Speaking of
he's
social
interesting.
media, so I've been pretty active on the Twitter talking to people about the film industry and stuff and how to get into it and all kinds of shit. So if you want to talk to me about this dirty ass shit,
If you want advice, Twitter's you can talk to Bill.
or
Under
not
oath.
even advice, just like bother me.
And where
DM Bill your dick
where can they find us on Twitter?
Said DM Bill your dick pics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me see those dick pics.
Actually,
I'll
yeah.
rate them.
Yeah.
I'll take them too. Please. You got my IG.
Hey,
Yeah.
back your
If you want to hit me up on Instagram with some titty pics, I'll take some titty pics.
No,
some
no
dick
tits,
pics.
please.
I'll
Just
take some dick pics. If you
Get
have,
creative with dick pics, though. Like, can you put a little hat on it? You know, draw a little face, something interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Make it
God.
something. Yeah, out of the rest.
Matt
Something that
used to send me
stands
the
out.
Make your
best
dick
dick
stand
pics.
out.
Yeah.
I
Matt
did.
used to send me the best dick pics.
I got creative with them. I want to see some creativity
One
out
time
there.
he just wrapped it with toilet paper and he sent it out
The
as like
mummy?
a mummy dick.
Throwback to last week's episode. But yeah, where can they find us on Twitter?
Yeah, if you want to send dick pics, just look up the Plunge podcast and send them that way.
That's good.
No, but yeah, Failing Holly Woo without the D because it didn't fit. Har har har. We say it every time, but that's legitimately why it did not.
Send dick pics.
Failing Hollywood. That's what we do. Failing Hollywood.
Yeah, and I'm on there all the time talking to people about the film industry and other shit.
Yep. Also, you can find us on Instagram at Failing Hollywood. We're on Facebook too. On Facebook, we're Failing Hollywood Podcast. So you got to add that little podcast jump. You got our Twitter. We have a phone number too. We're
I remember it's 818.
it is 818.
Wait,
Let's start.
whoa! I have it.
I have it too. It's you want to tell the people though. So you're gonna stop me who has it right in front of my face and look through your phone until you find it, so you can creatively tell everybody.
Mikey, stop covering for Bill. We want awkward silence during this.
Yeah. I
You are
have the
being
phone
punished.
number. Here's the fucking phone number, Bill. Do you
Oh,
just want
yeah,
it? Like I
yeah.
said, it's on my piece of paper.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bill.
See, that's how much he cares about this podcast is he can't memorize our phone number.
We're fucking what? 6 episodes deep and we're at each
holy
other's
shit!
throats?
I'm in
Yeah.
a van right
This
now.
isn't
My
gonna
wife is
last,
giving me a
bro.
look because I can't even remember her phone number, and we've been together for like 8 years.
Hey,
I know
Yeah.
I know your phone number, Mikey. Should I shout it?
Yeah, what's no,
603.
no, yeah.
Actually, his
Yeah,
number
maybe
is
you do.
818-928-5374. 818-928-5374.
Yeah, call
Yeah.
that number. Send us audio dick pic.
I think
Oh,
the
shit.
only reason I remember Mikey's phone number is because like it was like
Am I your emergency contact?
Yeah. before like everyone had cell phones when we were like middle school and high school. Mikey was like my first friend with a cell phone. So back then we had to remember numbers, and so he's always had the same number.
And this is still like senior year. I think I got my first cell phone senior year. It was like either me or Dimitri, who was like the rich kid.
Yeah,
the
you're
trust
also
fund
the
baby.
first
And I'm
friend
the
with a
straight-
car, dude.
Didn't
What?
we
You were
have?
our first friend with a car. You had the
Yeah.
first cell phone. You were just Mr. Cool.
Didn't we have some sort of message on our thing that we were
Fucking
going to talk
Chuck E.
about?
Cheese provides.
Yeah,
bro.
we're gonna start. Okay, call in because in a couple weeks we're gonna do our very first airing of messages.
Wait, what'd you say? What messages?
Our phone messages.
Oh,
We got a couple.
I thought you said something
Yeah.
else.
If you want to call in and just describe your penis, feel free.
Not next week, but the week after. Next week we have
It looks like a lobster tail without its shell.
not next week, but the week after. We will do something with the messages. So please call in. Again, the number is 818-928-5379. So if you call them, leave your fail stories, ask us for advice, do whatever the fuck you want. We're not going to answer the phone. You could text us. Leave a voicemail. That'd be the best way to do it. But
it rings to my mother's phone in New Jersey. It's an old ass answering machine. She's gonna pick up. She's gonna ask you a few questions, and maybe she can call me and tell me about it.
Who do we have on fucking next week?
Next
Mikey?
week's
because it's big. It's fucking big.
I don't know if I should reveal it.
Don't.
Next week's a super important.
Wait, I want to know.
Yeah.
Can you really show me?
I kind of want it to be a
curious now.
surprise. I almost want it to be a surprise. Should it?
I'll ask you after
Should we
the
tell
show.
people?
Surprise.
You think we
tell
should?
people.
You think we should let people
Ladies
know?
and gentlemen, coming to you live from the fucking
Van.
shitty ass garage that we call a studio. Next week we are
pretty nice
having.
We
garage.
will be in a garage next
We
week.
are
or in a
having.
van
Wait,
right now.
what's her real name?
I don't know. No, it's Marissa. But
Marissa.
her real name for the glory of the podcast. We talked about it in episode 1. We put it out into the universe. People responded.
Somebody lit one of my candles.
She
and it
ended.
came
Yeah,
true.
somebody lit one of his candles. She actually hit us up and said that she wanted to be on the podcast, and we're so grateful for it. Next week we'll have Snake Bitch in the fucking studio. So yeah. So that's gonna be a really important day. It's gonna be.
Praise Satan.
Yeah, we're looking really forward. As glorious as you have been, Matt Hoffman. Snake
No, I
Bitch is
know.
gonna be so
I
much
just
fun.
came to ride 4-wheelers, honestly.
Oh man, it was such a good day for
So-
That is so. Matt
Actually, I didn't
Hoffman.
even know I was going to be on this podcast. Mikey told me, I agreed to it. He's like, yeah, you ready for Pismo this weekend? We're going to ride 4-wheelers. You're going to be on the podcast. I'm like, when the fuck did I
Let's
say
be real.
that?
He got drunk, and we all got out. We're like, we're gonna go to Pismo. We should do a podcast from Pismo.
Can
well,
I-
Was it
I
even
pushed it.
drunk?
It was
Can I
good.
touch on something?
Yeah, he told me
Go
2
real
days
quick.
ago that
Yeah,
we were
go
doing
real
this.
fast.
I have a theory. So Mikey says that he always tells everything what's going on, like everyone what's going on. I didn't really know too much about this trip. I worked until 2 a.m. and then I just kind of came here, kind of unprepared. His wife claims that he never really gives a lot of instructions or information. I have a theory. Apparently, he doesn't dream. I think he does dream, but they're super ultra realistic
I
dreams
dreamed a dream
where he's
of
talking to
times
people.
gone by.
Shut the fuck up!
We're trying to see that rainbow struggle.
You're throwing things.
I'm doing Les Miserables over here.
No one cares.
Fuck that movie.
Turn the page.
Continue your thought, Bill.
Yeah.
I'll smack Fredy.
I think that was it. I don't remember.
No, his dreams were so real. Continue.
That he tells people.
That he thinks he really told us this information.
And that's the show.
And I didn't. I do. I think I do, but when we talk about it, it's usually such like a vivid thought that it's just like, yeah, we should do that. But I take it so seriously in my mind because in my mind, it's when we talk about it, that's what's happening.
I bet you we were drinking and you're like, oh, let's go to Pismo someday. Oh, maybe I'll bring the van and do the podcast. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. And they're like, oh, by the way, we're there in 2 days. Get up here.
Yeah, you said like next week. Well, we said like, oh yeah, I'd probably be down to do that. I think that, and then you, I just was like, all right.
I mean, I love it here anyway. It was no problem.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking came right
I
up.
think the problem is that most people talk about doing shit, and Mikey is just like,
He's like, yeah, no,
oh,
we're
we
doing
talked
it.
about doing it, so we're fucking doing it.
No,
Right?
it's good. You need someone to push you.
Don't fucking talk about it unless you. That's the one thing I do for everything. Everybody always talks about shit. They talk about traveling.
Never
Nobody
do it.
does it. But the minute like,
then
I do,
Mikey-
it's like, oh, I'm gonna book it and set it all up. And
Yeah,
we're
and
good.
you actually travel the world.
yeah,
you follow
that's what I'm
through with
saying.
your shit.
Don't
Yeah.
fucking talk about shit unless
One
you're gonna
day
do it.
we'll let Mikey talk about his worldly travels, but it is not this day.
It's not this
It
day.
is not
No,
this day.
we're-
The
it's
second
not
you
this day.
think it, Mikey's already in the car.
Yeah, so, okay, just a couple more quick shout-outs. Shout out to the Plunge Podcast, awesome podcast. Another podcast I started listening to this week is Shit Happens When You Party Naked. They're
It's
actually,
a great podcast.
This is a pretty good podcast.
What is that reference to? Oh, it's the shirt in Bad Santa that the little kid had.
Bingo.
is that what it
bingo,
said?
Yeah, the
bongo.
Santa Claus, whatever his name, gave him a shirt that said, shit happens when you party naked.
The dudes are fun.
I don't know why I just remembered that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Good dude. He has a thing with his wife, but he's pretty dirty and funny. They are. We listen to you and we enjoy it. So keep
dude. Shout out to his fucking pregnant wife.
He's also his pregnant wife.
Fucking proof that he's gotten laid at least once, bro. Shout out, bro.
Yeah,
What's
but
pussy feel like, dog?
They've also been super involved in our social media, and
Have you ever
we've been
put mashed
bouncing off of them a
potatoes
little
into
bit,
a
which has been
surgical
really cool.
glove?
So keep doing your shit, guys. Thanks for making me look like a super shitty husband, because now my wife can look at me and be like, "What? You don't want me on your podcast?" I'm like,
She was the
no.
first guest.
Yeah,
She's
no,
right
she was
here.
the first guest. She wants to be a co-host, but we told her she could be the substitute co-host.
You want to be a co-host?
We told her she could
I
be.
would love that, but Mikey doesn't want me to.
See,
You guys spend
see
enough
what
time
you're
together.
doing to me. Shit happens when
Hey.
you party naked. This is your fucking fault.
You guys gotta have your own lives, you know?
Yeah.
If you work together every day or whatever, you're supposed.
To be fair, I offered
Jackie-
to do a podcast, and she doesn't want to do it anymore because she was supposed to head it off, and she's like, "I don't think it's going to be as good as yours."
Jackie,
And I was
me
like,
and
"I
Bill
guess I'll take
said
that as a
you were
compliment."
more than welcome to co-host, but Mikey was like,
Jackie,
no,
I'll co-host on
no.
your podcast.
Shut the fuck up. Whatever. This is Failing Hollywood. Thank you guys for coming in. We're gonna be back next week with Snake Bitch. You guys are awesome. Have a good
That's
night.
a skip class. Woo!
Let's rip some more dudes.